Hi there, Zam here for NerdTube. These are my thoughts as well as some spoilers for Star Wars Tales of the Empire. Now, last year we got Tales of the Jedi, it was 6 episode shorts, and this time around we're getting 6 episode shorts based more on Empire type stories. There are 3 episodes based on one character, 3 episodes based on another. The first 3 are based on Morgan Elspeth, the second 3 are based on Barriss Offee. Now, nobody really knows who she is, and not many people know who Morgan Elspeth is, and I'll talk about her first. Morgan Elspeth was the character first introduced to us in The Mandalorian. When Ahsoka Tano was first shown to us in live action, she ended up fighting Morgan Elspeth. You know, she had the Beskar spear and stuff like that, and then Morgan obviously came back in the Ahsoka Tano series as well. In this uh, series of Tales of the Empire, the first 3 episodes are based on her early years, Morgan Elspeth, that is. We see her basically trying to escape the separatist movement, which was from the prequel series, led by General Grievous, who's slaughtering her people left, right, and center. It's kind of, it's really tragic to a degree because we see at one point General Grievous kill Morgan's mum right in front of her, and that kind of leads Morgan down this dark path. Now, some of the people on this planet know a little bit of magic, which is why she ends up being one of the witches of Dathomir, so to speak, later on. So we get that, but she obviously survives her ordeal with Grievous, but she doesn't become a better person for this because in the second episode, which is set during the Empire era, she wants to work alongside the Empire. And at this particular point, she's a lot more of a better fighter. When one of the Empire sends out an assassin to try and kill her, not to kill her for real, but just to test her, and she survives the assassination, and the Empire willing to do business with her, and she does. And then she also meets um, Admiral Thrawn for the first time, as we know in the Ahsoka series. Her and Admiral Thrawn do know each other, and this is the first time they meet. And at this particular point, he's not Grand Admiral yet; he's still just Admiral. In the third episode, it's set just after the original trilogy when the New Republic have kind of taken over from the Empire. And because Morgan obviously worked with the Empire, she's a wanted person by the New Republic. Uh, Obviously, she doesn't go in, lightly. She kind of fights her way out from being detained and all of that. It's kind of it's pretty cool to see her at her most bad guy best. But overall, when it comes to these 3 episodes, which are, in my opinion, very well directed, well written, it kind of pieces together a character that we only know so much about. Unfortunately, I'm not that interested in finding out about a character like Morgan Elspeth. I know there'll be people out there who very much appreciate all this backstory and all of that. And like I said earlier, it is well written and well animated. But personally, I don't care. But I don't want to be too much a negative. It's just how I personally feel. I know that this will appeal to a lot of people who are hardcore Star Wars fans. Now, in the next 3 episodes, we come across a character that I'm not familiar with at all, and I'm sure we've seen her here and there in little dots in the background and all of that sort of stuff. But we're talking about a character called Barriss Offee. Now, Barriss is a Jedi. I think she was a Padawan at the time when she was held prisoner by the Empire. This is just after Order 66, and not all the Jedi have been killed. Some have been left alive because Darth Vader wants to turn some of these young Jedi into Inquisitors, and that's the ordeal she goes through. She goes through training to become an Inquisitor. She obviously survives that training because she has to go up against some of her old Jedi colleagues, old Padawan colleagues, and after that, she is now full blown Inquisitor with a little bit of dark side in her, but still some Jedi in her as well. In the next episode, she and her Inquisitor colleague called Lin go hunting for Jedi, but that's what the Inquisitors did. Any of the Jedi that survived Order 66, they're the ones that the Empire want to go after the most, and so Lin and Barriss end up on this planet where they start interrogating some of the people there, and not all the people there are, being very helpful. So Lin, the other Inquisitor, just starts slaughtering them all. It's kind of horrific, and this pisses off Barriss to a degree, but she keeps her mouth shut because they know where the Jedi are on this planet. And then they find one of the Jedi, and Lin decides to fight him, but she gets knocked out, and so Barriss ends up fighting this Jedi, and she reasons with this Jedi to give up and say, "Look, we'll take you back. You don't have to die here," and yada yada. And so the Jedi does yield, but then Lin wakes up from a knockout state and ends up killing that Jedi, pissing off Barriss so much that she goes back to the light fully and says, "I'm also a Jedi. You're gonna have to kill me too." And then Barriss ends up killing her Inquisitor friend Lin by force pushing her off a cliff. Now we thought that would be the end of Lin, but in the next episode, which is set several years later, Barriss is now like this sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi type person. She's very cool, calm, collective. You can tell she's full on Jedi, embracing that element in her life. You know, she was never, the dark side was not strong enough to take a hold of her. She was always a Jedi at heart. But her old friend Lin, who was force pushed off a cliff, ends up finding her because she's actually hunting a force sensitive child, a baby that is, who these parents are trying to hide from the Empire because obviously the Empire are looking for anyone who's force sensitive. And by doing so, Lin comes across Barriss again, because Barriss is obviously dealing with his family hiding their kid, and they have another fight. But it ends up being a little bit different, so to speak, because in a way, Barriss kind of lets herself get killed by Lin in order to make Lin see the light and realize the errors of her ways. It was very well done. I have to admit, it was really well done. Now, whether Lin does see the errors of her ways, they kind of left that open to interpretation because it wasn't fully concluded if she did. But it was still well done how they did it, nevertheless. And it was just overall much more interesting. I mean, it's funny in a way. Like, there's a character I do know about in Morgan Elsbeth, and I don't care about, and yet there's a character I know nothing about in Barriss Offee, who I do care about. I know, go figure. And also, when Barriss did end up dying and sacrificing herself in a way which is very similar to Obi-Wan Kenobi and sacrifice he made, um, it just became just such a great story arc for her, for somebody who could have easily have gone to the dark side, but was just not. It wasn't for her, you know, being evil or being dark or being that way. She could never truly embrace it. She was always going to be a Jedi, and that's what made it so much more fascinating. And it made me see the dark side a little bit differently. That just because the dark side exists doesn't mean that it's for you, and it definitely wasn't for Barriss. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I'm gonna give this series it's really interesting for me how I marked this because the first three episodes, even though they were good, they weren't necessarily that endearing to me, whilst the second three episodes were. But I think overall the quality was there, and it's much better than the first series, much darker, which I prefer. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, a very generous 8 out of 10. I did like it. This was good stuff. It was short, to the point, didn't overstay its welcome, and yeah, it was alright. I liked it. Let me know what you think of this series. Did you enjoy Tales of the Empire like I did? And would you recommend it? I personally do. I think this is much better than Star Wars Visions, which is the other animated stuff that Disney are doing as well. This is far better, and I believe what we're watching is canon as well. So, I mean, considering what we saw last year with how Dooku became who he is, you know, it made sense, and Yaddle and all of that. So, I do think this is also canon too. So, yeah, great stuff. Enjoyed it. I recommend it. 8 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We're on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, as well as YouTube. We are the greatest social media channel you never heard of. Take care now. Bye bye.